Where are you scanning? I like the tie.
Probably a thrift store. That's where I get all my ties.
Seriously?
I buy them all at thrift stores. They're like $2, $2 to $5, depending on what thrift store you go to.
So,
All my ties are from thrift stores.
Charlie, I found somebody who's one up you. So I like this tie, and I asked him where he got
I mean,
it.
you can have it if you want.
No,
I literally just took the thrift store tie off of
try
it.
that.
This is Brazilian candy?
Yeah, it's like super good candy.
It's
like,
refrigerated?
You know what it tastes like to me? Like, what are those things that cow tails? Remember?
Oh, yeah, I have.
That's what it's like.
It's really good.
Are you guys firing me?
I'm sorry?
Are you firing me?
You're not hired.
I know.
Calm down.
Are you letting me go before you fire me or hire me?
Can you breathe?
No, because Charlie said we needed to meet, and I'm like, I got real
No, I was
scared.
going to come over and you talk for a second.
I don't know what you just said, but okay.
It tastes like cow tail.
I like it personally. It's my favorite. And it's not candy, believe it or not. Anyway, so first of all, thank you for coming in. Oh, by the way, his ties are from thrift stores. He says he's paid about $2 for it.
Between
See,
two-
that's what you do it.
Between two
I go to
and-
like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and have to go in there.
That's not a thrift store, so he won up you.
There you go. I went to Dillard, no, Macy's this weekend. So I was down by the White House because I walked to the White House from Navy Yard. Just let me tell you, woof, long walk.
Mm-hmm. It's like a 5 mile walk.
It was a
all right.
5 mile walk.
Jeez.
Well, I just was on the phone with people, and then I just like started walking, and then I was like, yeah. And I got all the way down there. And then there was this Macy's. I went there, and they had like this section where like everything was 75% off.
Last stack.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, 95% of the stuff that was in there was absolutely unwearable.
When I was-
Garbage.
When I was really fat, I had to go to Dillard's to get my clothes because they're the only place that had big and tall.
You were really fat, you said?
I was 400 pounds.
You're kidding.
Mm-mm.
How long ago was this?
2 years ago next month.
Really?
Mhm.
What'd you do?
I had weight loss surgery.
You had a what?
Weight loss surgery.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looking at you does not look like you were ever 400 pounds.
Oh, well, thank you. Some people, my friends who have known me for a long time, tell me that I look emaciated in my face.
Really?
Yeah. Or they'll say, you look really tired.
Well,
Were you ever 400 pounds too? I don't know, like he holds it well. Maybe you were 400 pounds.
I was a huge baby. I was like 10 pounds. Huge baby.
Yeah, so was I. I was a
And
big
I've
baby.
gained like not much since then.
So I was 330 pounds January last year.
So I remember you saying that, and then I saw some photos.
I was 330 pounds in January. I weighed this morning, I'm 251.
Look at you go.
So, and I need to get to 2. So I got 40 pounds left in me that I want off of me. I might just give it to Charlie.
I will take it. You know, my mother's, my mom's like, oh, you're losing weight. I'm like, Mom, I'm not losing weight.
My mom's argument was like, stop gaining weight! You're gaining too much damn weight!
Can you even afford to lose weight?
I can't, no. But my mom's like, I know this stress. And I'm like, I'm good, Mom. It's okay.
Stress.
Do you eat though?
I do. Well, so it's probably not like the way I eat probably isn't the greatest because I feel like I don't eat a bunch during the day and then my dinner is just huge, which I don't. They say that's not good, but I don't.
It's not good for your heart. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Charlie wanted to talk to you about some stuff. We do this with everybody, you know, before we onboard you. We like to get to know you a little bit,
Okay.
right? So Charlie,
Yeah. So the only thing that I just kind of wanted to talk to you about and ask you about is so like, there was an article that was brought to my attention that this article, which
Yes.
So I just wanted.
we're not here to judge you. We're here to hear your stuff.
Yeah, I just
That's
want.
it.
I just
I'm
want
in no position to judge media.
So that's not the only article. There's like 7.
There's a few.
Yeah, I was
more.
reading multiple, so there's multiple articles.
It boils down to this, 30 seconds or less. I was in Colombia getting Botox, and there was a criminal trial going on back in Ohio. And keep in mind, I ran a newsroom. I mean, it was just a small staff. I couldn't personally be in attendance at the trial that day. It was like a 3-month-long trial. This guy killed 8 people. I had been covering it, but then I had to go get my Botox. So I went and got it. So I'm out of the country on a Monday.
You go overseas for Botox?
I could fly for free, so I go to Colombia and Bogota.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take you sometime. Anyway, it's real cheap. It's like $100, but it's like 400 here.
I spend a lot more than that on Botox, but I trust the people putting needles on my face.
So anyway, the word wiretapping is so concerning to you guys, I imagine. But basically, what happened is
Not concerning to us, concerning to this institution.
a reporter couldn't be there that day, but somebody else was in the room with 50, probably 90, 100 other people. I don't know. The courtroom seated 98, and it was always full, so it was probably 98 people in there that day. I don't know. I wasn't there. And they recorded the testimony on their cell phone, and then they gave it to our newsroom. And our newsroom, which I was leading at the time, took that audio and published it. The reason why that was so important was because the guy who was testifying at the time did what they called opt-out, which means he doesn't want to be on TV. Well, he's a co-defendant. He's accused of killing 8 people. He killed 8 people in the middle of their sleep, a whole family.
I understand, but...
So we felt at that time that the public should be allowed to hear that testimony.
Can I
Oh,
interrupt you?
this is your office. You do
No,
what you
no,
want.
no, 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 no. This is your defense, or not even defense, your case, your story to tell. The fact that somebody signs an opt-out, do you know the legal implications of what that means?
Opt out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he chose, and the court granted him that discretion.
Yes.
So, no offense to you, please don't take any offense. You have no right to violate something that the court already has granted. So I'm just hearing you explain, and I'm just sharing to you where it becomes problematic there, why they're calling it wiretap. Right?
Yeah.
I know you didn't physically wiretap.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that.
The charge of wiretap is because they don't have charges for a recording. They use formal language in wiretap. That's what.
But I can see that it's like concerning for you guys because you're like, oh, now can we trust this guy? Is he secretly recording this conversation right now? You know, things like that.
Look, from my understanding, recording in this building is a federal crime, and you get 7 years.
I would never record with
Have
him.
fun at your peril. I won't do it. So
I am very, and this is
You know,
why.
that's my understanding. I don't know. Like, I know that recording
There's
is federal.
rules about, I know that, like, and it's not just here, I think it's all, like, federal.
But my understanding is recording in a federal building is like 5 to 7 years or something.
Yeah, so what I told Vish, and he knew about this before I ever met you guys. I told him, I said, look, I said, this is in my past. This happened.
We all have a past.
Right. It was a small Ohio county called Pike County, you might be familiar with. Pike County is so small. They're all Republicans, and they all are good people. They've got great hearts, but at the end of the day, they don't like the news media. And I mean, that article, there's probably 7 others out there, and they all do a good job at detailing what the truth is. And the truth is, we published an audio.
But why did you get the charge and not the person with de facto? Did you take the fall for someone?
No, because well, first of all, it was my byline, so the article was written by me, and they charged me with dissemination. So it's kind of, I hate to use this analogy, but it's like child pornography. You didn't create it, but you are passing it out.
Yeah.
So they charged me with passing out a recording that they knew was illegal. Here's the thing, Supreme Court, and I know you disagree, the Supreme Court of the United States, see, I was a journalist at the time, I'm not anymore, I'm coming over here, and I hope that doesn't go anywhere, but anyway, the Supreme Court had ruled that journalists are allowed to publish things. So let's say Charlie gets really mad at you, and he goes to the Wall Street Journal and he gives him a bunch of information.
He has an NDA with me for the next 3 years still.
I'll be more than happy to.
That I
say
will
that.
hold him accountable to.
But so if he.
I love this kid.
So if the reporter gets called into the police department and said, where did you get this information about Santos? We want to know. They don't have to reveal their source. And they can't be charged criminally for what's in their possession. So that's kind of what happened. So the sheriff's office kind of went rogue. They really, as the articles state, they really didn't have a basis or grounds to charge me. They just weren't smart because it's a small, quite frankly, rural, backwoods, uneducated population. It's the poorest county.
Don't say that.
No, Congressman, it's true. It's statistically true. They're the poorest of 88 counties, and Charlie knows that.
Does that hold up?
Yeah, no, it's extremely like rural and
Impoverished.
yeah, it's not a great area.
But they're just not, they just didn't know the federal law that permitted me to do that. While I understand you and a lot of other people disagree with that decision, and I do regret that decision. I regret what happened back in November. I think we all do. I mean, it was a process and a half. I had to put up $20,000. It was a mess. They chose not to indict me, and it's gone. It's over with.
So you were charged, not convicted, or anything?
No. It was.
How did that? This is me speaking out of curiosity at this point. So how did that whole process go down?
How did it get dismissed? You mean?
Yeah.
So in the state of Ohio, the Supreme Court of Ohio sets the criminal procedure rules, and there's a rule, and I don't know the number off the top of my head, but after 60 days of being charged with a crime, if they don't bring a grand jury indictment against you, it just goes away. It gets dismissed. They have 60 days. It's not the statute of limitations because they can bring it for 6 years on a felony in Ohio. But the new prosecutor, who happens to be a Democrat, went to my attorneys and said, look, I'm taking office over in February, which he just did, or actually a week earlier, last week he took it over, but it wasn't supposed to be until next week. And he told my attorneys that he was not going to be presenting it to the grand jury. He's been assistant prosecutor in charge of the grand jury for the last several years. I don't know how long. And that's why it never went the last 6 months, and that's why it's never going to go. He doesn't agree with it. But his boss, who took over as judge last week, was pushing him to do it. And that's what he told my defense counsel at the time. He says, look, the boss and the sheriff's office pushed me into doing this. I don't want to do it when I take over in February. And he took over a week early last week.
What's his position now?
He's now the chief prosecutor of the county. His name's Mike Davis.
He was elected?
No, so the judge was the prosecutor. And he ran for the judgeship in November, and he was the only one on the ballot, so he got voted by one vote. So he went from prosecutor, appointed to judge, and then the Democratic Party appoints this guy as the prosecutor. So it was a vacancy. But here's what I'll tell you guys. Look, I'm not some spy. Look, if you want to know why I'm here, like, why does this guy who makes six figures want to come here and work? And the truth is, we're all you. I mean, I wouldn't be in this office. I wouldn't be with my publication if I didn't do things to get there. You know, it's just the truth. And that's what I told Bish when we met a couple of weeks ago. I said, we're all George. This is how we get here. We're just masters of the game. It's just the truth. And I love, when I saw you on TV, I didn't even know who you were, no offense, until like after January. You were sitting me down in the rotunda or whatever, the chambers or whatever it's called, the floor or whatever. My best friend sends me an article and I read it and I said, have you talked to this guy himself? Do you know any of it? Do you know if this is true or not? It's like, why, you know? And then I, of course, knew Fish from Twitter and I found out that you guys brought him on and I reached out to him and I'm like, dude, and then I'm like, I want to come help. Like, this guy, I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to come help. And that's why I'm here. I spent like a day and a half here last week, and I had so much fun.
Don Lemon just texted me. I'm sorry. I got it. I'm listening to you.
Whatever the answer.
Don Lemon just texted me. Why were you mad at me? And it's a video of me complaining about Don Lemon. And I'm like,
when was your video?
To 2020, beginning of 2020.
I figured that's what.
Don Lemon, girl. You're a black gay man with a white husband and you make $4 million a year. Don't say people who look like me and expect any kind of empathy. Now he goes like, well, now you owe me.
The question is why are you texting me?
Because I enjoy it. It's just so good.
Is he married? Is he married?
He is.
Yeah.
The white guy.
Yeah.
He lives in Sag Harbor. Yeah.
So I'm not the only thing on my record that I have are a bunch of speeding tickets and a thing.
See, I have a lot of things on my record. That's not one thing I have.
Speeding tickets?
Yeah. Speaking of which, Kevin got some speeding tickets on the car. And
I saw the article.
I confirmed those dates were him. How do we proceed? Am I gonna just eat it? Since he's being so right.
I'm gonna be. Probably wouldn't go after speeding tickets, probably, right? Probably would not pursue that route.
$300 as a speeding ticket.
In total?
Yeah.
Right, that's probably, I think we should probably do
I
that.
feel like I bought that mattress twice now. Can you just get it for yourself?
Alright, I'll figure it, yes.
Have you told him that I'm not cashing the check?
I thought, no, I haven't, I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to get a hold of him.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's very easily distracted.
no, it's fine. I love being here, and frankly, I
Look,
I
just
love
want you to
Rafi,
understand,
and
I personally, I like you, I have nothing to complain, I mean,
I was scared that Gabby didn't like me, and she complained.
oh, Gabby's not like that. No.
Like,
Let me make this very clear. That is a person who, with her, what you see is what you get. So,
I was like,
also, if you do something you don't like, she doesn't like, you will know within a millisecond of doing it.
Also, I'm not the kind of guy that really makes a lot of decisions based off, you know, that kind of stuff too. If like somebody just comes and complains to me about not liking
that's the worst thing you guys are. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life, except for, you know, I had a bad, crazy ex one time.
Look, all I can say to you is the following. Yep, this is, I'm not judging you, okay? But something like this does obviously concern me, right? It's a judgment call, quite frankly. That's all it is. And I've made bad judgment calls, and I'm reaping the consequences of those bad judgment calls, right? I don't want, and I'm not making any decision, look, that's not incumbent upon me. I have removed myself far from hiring decisions in this office for the better, to make sure that it's an unbiased, because I like everybody. I mean, you came in here and I decided to hire you off of a hello meeting in 15 minutes, right?
I had fun those 1.5 days.
With zero looking back into your background, just looking up your resume, I went off face value. That's how I am. I just people on face value. If I like you, like in my life, people have earned my trust. You by default have my trust, and you lose my trust versus earning my trust. Like everybody, I trust this guy with everything, and I've obviously fucked up and lied to him, like I lied to everyone else, and he still forgave me and gave me a second shot, unlike some other people, right? So I trust him tenfold more. So I trust his judgment more than my own judgment, and that's why he's my chief of staff, right? I wouldn't be here in this chair if it wasn't for him, because you know how many times during the campaign he stopped me from making stupid decisions that could have fundamentally hurt the campaign. You know how many restless nights this dude had? Well, I was at home sleeping and thinking and dreaming about my stupid ideas to come in the next day to drive him through the fucking wall. So, am I lying?
There were a lot of ideas.
So my point being here is, I'm gonna let you and Charlie, you know, and not throwing him under the bus or you under the bus. I don't know what the cause was there, but I just want you to be very aware. It is a very concerning accusation because of its nature.
Of course.
Recording is something, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Recording is always something that anybody, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you're politics or not, nobody likes to be recorded without
right.
knowledge, right? And that's something that also would generate implications beyond reconciliation. We're in a federal building. I don't know what my responsibilities are if you're caught doing something like that in this building.
Oh, I understand.
I bear
I
any.
I
So
understand.
I don't want to have that liability. God forbid.
I understand.
Right?
Oh, I understand
And
now.
I never looked at you different because you're a former member of the media or because you currently hold press pass credentials to the White House and you have a publication. Never judged you on that because I don't care. I'm not the enemy of the media. I think the media is there. It's whatever. Right now, they're not really kind to me because they're writing stories to benefit their narrative. But I just wanted you to understand that it's just more of a liability concern for me.
What you just said makes me understand, because this whole time I'm like, yeah, I fucked up. I know what I did wrong. But when you just said you're concerned about what may happen in this building and if it reflects on you, now I get why we're having...
That's where my concern is, and that's what Charlie's trying to, understand as well.
I get that.
Because the last thing I need is to receive a fine of some sort because a staffer representing this office was caught recording.
I get that 100%.
If you try to record me, you're going to be bored. You just saw this conversation was distracted twice.
I would never, listen.
I'm just saying, if you try to record me,
No, I mean, we're talking anybody, like, in general. If you
but I
record
would-
him,
it's boring.
And it's
Congressman,
so many different
they
things
could-
happening at one time.
They could pull me into...
And I will say this, stop going to Columbia for your diluted Botox.
They could pull me into a grand jury session right now, and granted, I don't know anything about you, but I'm going to look at them and say, you're going to put me in jail because I'm not saying a fucking word. And I'm loyal to death. And Vish knows that, and I think that's why he recommended me. I'm so loyal, and I've chosen this team because you've allowed me to come here.
Okay.
Nobody gets a fucking job on the Hill by a 15-minute meeting with the most notorious congressman on the Hill. And notorious is a compliment.
I don't know about that. What would you say? Is that the compliment, Charlie? I don't know. These days, notoriety seems to be an Achilles heel for me.
But you guys have given me an opportunity, and I'm so loyal. It's just, if you don't want me around, then I understand. And I told Vish that, I said, if I work one day and they fire me, Vish, I said, I'm not going to go, like, on TV.
I get it. That's actually funny. I appreciate you. I really do.
Oh my gosh. This is a liar.
Hold on. Hang on.
Wait, is there something on here I should know?
Huh?
Oh, I see. Your name.
This is not liars, but these people are sick. Look,
Congressman, if you give me a shot, you won't be disappointed.
I'm not. Hold on.
One of my friends, who's actually a federal employee, blocked me and unadded me yesterday. We've been friends for 7 years because I told him where I was going to go to work, and he couldn't understand it. And I said, I don't care if you understand it or not.
What did he do?
He blocked me on Snapchat first, and then blocked me on my Instagram, and then blocked my number because I came here to work. And we've been friends for 7 years. But he's a gay Democrat who works in federal government, and he blocked me.
I never asked you, what are you registered?
I'm not registered.
You're not registered to vote?
And I'll tell you why, because in Ohio, you can go on the Board of Elections website and type in people's names and see their addresses.
So in New York.
I didn't want people to know where I lived. So I never registered. But I'm like a Tim Ryan. I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I don't understand transgender stuff. I don't get it, but I'm not here to knock it. I hate Biden's tax plan. I'm all about the gays, obviously.
Well, I love the fact that I'm accused of being anti-gay. I'll relay the message to my husband. That's what I usually say.
All I can, and I don't want to talk about anything without Charlie here, but all I can say is, give me a shot, and if it doesn't work out, you can let me go.
I'm not giving you a shot. Let me make that very clear. I have a liability concern only, right? So this is something that we're waiting for guidance on. God willing, you make a bad judgment call. Where's my liability there? It's bad enough I have to answer for myself these days. I don't want to have to answer respectfully for you.
Just because I don't know what I can say. I understand your
No, you
concerns.
don't need to say anything because I'm not judging you.
I know
I'm
you're
not
not.
criticizing you. I just wanted to hear, because the media never expresses itself the way it should, right? Like, I'm true testament to that. I think hearing what you had to say was very good. It made me feel good, right? I believe you. I have no reason not to trust you.
I'll never lie to you
By
guys.
the way, those cupcakes were good.
Oh, I will never lie to you guys. I have no reason to.
Okay, good. Now,
But I will lie for you.
you shouldn't. No more lies. Let me see where Charlie is.